Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So I talked about extensively about my dating life here in Taiwan, infinitely better than the one I have in the United States. But at the same time, I'm not seeing that kind of. I'm not seeing a career pivot in my life at the moment. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking I'll just come here from time to time. I have my dating life here and then go back home and work. And I kind of like that my money goes very far over here. For two reasons. Number one, the cost of living is just a lot less here in the first place. But I noticed that Americans have a very toxic relationship with money in their social life. So here in Taiwan, I find it a lot easier to suggest that we be a little bit more money conscious with our social lives, right? I meet up with my friends at the hostel, and it's just a lot more popular to be money conscious, right? I'll look at something on a menu and I'll actually ask about the cost, right? Um, I was at a restaurant in the United States. I was with my friends. This is a hiking meetup group, and so I have allergies. And so we went to a taco place, and I figured I'll just ask questions. I saw that they had fish because they had fish, whatever kind of taco. And I said, well, fish is fine, but I can't have the white bread and the added sugars, and just make it plain. And I should have asked more questions. To their credit, they did make something that was okay with me, but it was like this much fish. And then they charged me $15 for it. Now, I, I I didn't really ask a lot of questions. I even after I ate it, I should have questioned a little bit. Hey, this is all I got, right? And $15 for that here in Taiwan, I'd probably do that because it's a lot more popular to be money conscious. Back home in the U.S., if you want to chase girls, you can't do that. Here in Taiwan, girls see money consciousness as being smart. Back home, people see it as being cheap. A lot of times, I feel like the dating scene is almost like an arms race amongst all the guys, right? Who can throw the most resources at it? Here in Taiwan, it's like without even sitting down at a negotiation, we've already disarmed each other, right? It really feels like that. Uh, Unfortunately, last year I really went too far with the arms race. I I, uh, I used to max out my Roth IRA at the beginning of the year. Lately, I've been falling behind because of the dating arms race, if you will. I don't have to participate in all that garbage here in Taiwan. In fact, I had tried to offer. You guys remember the rewards? I had tried to offer a reward to a guy at the hostel who had set me up on a blind date with his cousin, and he didn't want it. And so he refused to give me his address so I can mail it when I get home. And he says that this is something we're all in it together, right? Our human race depends on it. I really like his insight on that. Over in the U.S., it's the other way around. Me, how do I start a family? Not how do we as a society propagate our human race, right? And as a result, the arms race and everybody burning their resources, right, maxing out their credit cards, and it's really to nobody's benefit, right? Not only financially is it an arms race, it's also an arms race with how we abuse her. Who can stay out the latest? Who can drink the most? Right? And it doesn't have to be that way. Let's disarm each other, right? Oh, all right. Thought I would point that out. Unfortunately, and this is part of the reason why I want to pivot my career eventually, our office politics also feels like an arms race, right? When we could relax things considerably. So, for example, one thing I'm going to curse when I go back to the office is not my students, not my work, not the materials I'm teaching. I'm a college professor. I teach calculus. No, I love all of that. Um, what I'm really going to curse is how my workplace affects my health, especially my mental health. I find that ever since I arrived in Taiwan, it is easy for me to go on a 16, 17, 18-hour fast without even thinking about it. And I can't seem to do that at my job. And I know it's not because of my students. Um, and it doesn't have to be that way. Why can't we relax our work culture so that it could be like hanging out with friends so that we can continue to fast 18, 19 hours, right? I really hate